Hello and welcome back to another episode. It's undeniable at this point, isn't it? Christmas is fast approaching, and there are a couple of subtle hints and cues around that I might be getting into the spirit of things. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm actually really rather excited. In fact, today I'm even wearing my delightfully ugly Christmas jumper with the tassels for the snowman scarf. I love it. But with that excitement comes a certain amount of practicality, to be fair. There's stuff that needs to get done before Christmas can happen. And yesterday, my wife and I, we were cleaning out and hoovering and getting ready the spare room for friends and family to stay with us over Christmas. Now, with that, I also went through a huge box of stuff as well yesterday that I had planned on going through earlier this year. I tried to make a little video about what's in the box. Exactly, what's in the box? A box and also a bag, a bag of stuff that I had brought back from my childhood home in North Wales following a bit of a house clearance. Basically, along with my brother, we had to choose what we wanted to save from the house following Mum's unfortunate passing back in January. On the day earlier this year when I wanted to make that video, it was rather windy, the dog was kind of clingy, and I decided just to give him a hug and talk about Indy instead on video. All of that rhymed. That's kind of cool. So basically he became the star of that particular video. It was an aborted idea. And yesterday we just had to get the box emptied and put stuff away. So at some point we'll go through what's in that box. But today I want to share with you something that I found while I was doing that just brought a smile to my face. You see, my childhood wasn't perfect. In fact, it was far from perfect. My mum had tremendous mental health issues, and I bore the brunt of it for basically 25 years. Well, actually, I suppose 33 years. Anyway, but throughout that time, there were little moments. There's always goodness in amongst even the most bizarre or odd or difficult childhoods. And along with my brother, we both took immense joy in certain things. And one of those things was our bedrooms and computer games and mucking about together. And I'm happy to say that I've found some evidence of that in the form of photographs. Starting with, I suppose, just to get this out of the way, some photos of me when I was younger. So here's a photo of me, I don't know, age maybe 14 possibly. Yeah, you can just about make out that that's me. Looking quite reserved, quite suspicious of the camera. This is me probably I don't know, 16, 17 maybe. And I think I'd just about started learning to drive there, hence the card that I think I made for myself. That's a really weird one, isn't it? I drew that card for me. And also on my neck I am wearing an ocarina because of Ocarina of Time, of course. So yeah, photos of me, evidence that I was in fact younger at one point, younger and thinner in fact, even though back then I thought I was a wretched ugly thing. And this is me, rather shy, painfully shy, one Christmas wearing a Wales rugby top and a fake moustache. And it's kind of ironic really, given that even back then I had a bit of a moustache already. But basically the story of my childhood in a nutshell, me and my brother, is really in this photo here. And that is me, shy, in the background, ironically actually, often protecting him from troubles he wasn't even fully aware of. But this meant that he was much more relaxed and confident. So you'll often see me sort of shying away from photos, in particular when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult. So yeah, photos of me. I did have a childhood. There you go. Proves it. But also, actually, during that childhood, we did get to go and do some interesting things. So, for example, back in the day before Doctor Who had its rerun, or back in before 2004, when Doctor Who was basically in between TV popularity. There was a museum in Llangollen, and I've talked about it before in a video, but this is a blurry photograph of me and my brother at the entrance to the Doctor Who museum in Llangollen. See, there we are, having just got some cool stuff. And on that day I got hold of a Dalek, Dalek K9, a figure of the Doctor, and also that transforming Starship Enterprise. I think that's the video where I mentioned the Doctor Who museum. This is a very dark photo, because back in the day, you just had these little wind-up photos that you couldn't control the light exposure. You had no idea what it would look like until you got it developed. But a little photo of the two of us interacting with a Dalek there. So me kind of excited. And there's my brother just there, and the Dalek next to us. Apparently this was actually a screen-used Dalek prop, yeah. And there I am clinging on to my my gift shop purchases in the paper bags there. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy that we have evidence of that. I'm also really chuffed that I have evidence of early tabletop gaming experiences. So that's me and my brother with a polystyrene terrain, I suppose you could say, that we made for a tabletop role-playing and war game called Havoc, which was sort of, I suppose, an attempt at being a rival to Warhammer. It didn't work. It didn't succeed. But these were sort of pre-painted plastic models that didn't require too much skill to put together. And even though I was actually collecting and painting Space Marines at this time, I think my brother in particular wasn't too keen. So I thought, well, Havoc might mean that we actually get to play some tabletop war games, and he doesn't have to worry about painting them, or about painting them, competing, as it were, as well with his brother. Because I was tremendously patient and tremendously perfectionist with my paintings, and so actually these models looked gorgeous, and so no wonder he was like, I can't do that. So yeah, so that Havoc, yeah, that's pretty cool. Little evidence of some tabletop wargaming. This photo is the weirdest photo that I found, but it is evidence against me and my brother. So that's my brother, and that's me, and it's evidence of me having owned a classic Casio calculator watch. It's the strangest photo to have, and I've no idea why it was taken like that, but I'm really chuffed that it was, because yeah, there you go. I'm not I'm not just imagining that. I did have that watch, and it did melt one day on a windowsill. In fact, it melted on the windowsill that's in the background of this photo in my bedroom. Here I am, desperately trying to ignore the fact that I'm being photographed. This must have been a Christmas morning. Just go away, leave me alone. And there's a window in the background, along with a sink, interestingly. We thought that this room was once the bathroom to the house, and it became a very, very small, narrow bedroom. In fact, the bedroom wasn't much wider than, it had enough room for the person to stand here and take a photo of me. I think this must have been Mum photographing me. Just going, go away. I love the fact that I have a Blade Runner poster on the wall and a Star Wars poster. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's where the Casio watch melted, on that windowsill, many years before this photo was taken. Also, as well, that's pretty cool, I was collecting broken signage as well back then. I've always had an interest in I suppose, the design of signs. Everyone's got to have a hobby. This is my brother's bedroom. You can't see too much of him here. Again, he's like, go away. But crucially, look, you see our N64 next to his bed with our N64 cartridges in a box stored next to that. And then you can see a foosball table sort of shoved by the wardrobe there. He had basically the master bedroom in the house, interestingly. So he had like this fixed wardrobe that went on each side and above his bed. And you can see the TV with the old TV aerial above it, and some toys gathered on top. That was our N64 setup. I'm pretty pleased that we've got a photo of that. And you can just about see there's a chair that we left next to the bed that I've probably been playing the night before, GoldenEye or something. We'd be up ages. He'd sit on his bed, I'd sit on that chair, we'd play N64, competing as ever, you know, as brothers do, to get better scores. A bit more of a close-up here of him. This must have been, yeah, again, Christmas or his birthday or something, I don't know. He's like, leave me alone. Someone's just done a party popper on him. But they get the N64 again, some games, some stuff on top of the TV. You know, it was a good little setup. But then, because his room was so big, on the other side of the room, at the foot of his bed, we had, if you can imagine, so you can just about see the foot of his bed just there, we had the Mega Drive set up on its own little TV sort of shelving unit there, and all the games underneath, and another TV, 2 TVs in one bedroom. Shocking, unbelievable. But crucially, that TV, that right there, is the TV that I first watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV series on. I remember that. Also, if you look really closely in this photo in the background, just there, ooh, just knock the camera, just there, you can just about see the Obi-Wan Kenobi lightsaber I made for myself. See the handle sort of pointing downwards with a blue, painted blue wooden dowel for the lightsaber in the corner. So I made that out of various bits of piping and, you know, wooden ball and other bits and bobs that I found. That was my lightsaber, and it's much better actually than any of the lightsaber toys I've ever come across. I really wish we'd kept that. Yeah, I was relatively creative back then. Well, actually, and also my guitar. I painted my guitar, gave it a custom paint job, which you can see better in this photo here. So there you go. That's much better example of my guitar with my signature back then on it. And there I am peeking out of our bathroom, looking into my brother's room. So my room was back there. That's the door to my room there, and this is the bathroom. And you can see my brother was a bit of a fan of the LA Lakers basketball, and we both loved the Welsh rock band Feeder as well. Poster on his door there. That's pretty cool. And finally, it's a bit silly, it's a bit weird, but I think everyone's tried something like this at some point. So this is me sitting outside my bedroom, with him taking a photo from inside his bedroom, having put a Ferrari model on his bed, and we're trying to make it look like I'm driving a Ferrari. Not sure it worked. But again, back then it was just a wind-up point-and-click camera. You couldn't control the focus, you couldn't control the light. There was a built-in flash. You know, this was the best that we could. This was the second. I've got the other photo somewhere. That's rubbish. This is the best one, the best version we have. These days, obviously, you know, you just use a phone and get it perfect in lens before you even took the photo. But yeah, it's really cool actually to have some evidence of this stuff, and just to be able to look back on it and, you know, just reflect on the fact that yes, I was a super stressed, super shy, nervous young man, and there are lots of reasons for that, basically to do with my mum. But together, my brother and I, we thrived in that environment. We made the best of it, and actually, I don't know if you noticed, but we both had the same duvet covers. It was one of those sort of families where basically, you know, even though we weren't twins, he had and I had the same bedding. Yeah, we made for ourselves, and we made for ourselves a childhood, and we've both come out of it with our own battle scars. But again, I think everyone comes out of childhood with some battle scars. It's just that some are deeper and more, you know, more potentially dangerous than others. And I'm happy to say that I'm able to look back on these moments and these photos with complex emotions, but mainly with a smile on my face, and I'm really happy about that. I'm also curious about, so this poster here above my bed, Evil Twin, is that a game? It must be a computer game, I guess. I have to Google that, I think, when I'm editing this. And then also you can just about see there's a troll on my bookcase. It was one of my trolls. In fact, the troll that I have had with me all my life is this guy here. This little troll here. He actually, you know, as I say, from very early days, from when I was about 5 years old, life was odd when Dad died, and Mum went a bit off the rails, and this little troll was always my friend. It's sad, isn't it? It's kind of sad, but it's also kind of lovely. I mean, you know, yeah, this tiny little guy, I always felt as though if he was with me, then and also if Metalhead as well. He and Metalhead, if these guys were around in my life, then kind of, you know, things would be okay. Let's just get the camera. Come on, focus. Focus. There we go. That things would be okay. Metalhead was wouldn't be fazed by negative emotions. He was a good, solid, robotic figure in my life when perhaps, you know, adults weren't quite as trustworthy and reliable as they might have otherwise been. And this guy here was just wonderful. You know, he was fun to play with. His hair was brilliant. And also, actually, recently, when the Trolls movie came out, and my goddaughter was like, Trolls are so cool, aren't they? I was like, yeah, I know all about Trolls. And at the beginning of the movie, they have actually some of the older Trolls on a tree as like a tribute, I think, to the old Trolls. I sort of showed her this little troll, and she was amazed that, goodness me, you know, you were a kid and you had a troll. Oh. I think she was a bit disappointed, actually, that Trolls weren't just for her. But yeah. Do you know, oddly enough, I've never given him a name, though. Isn't that weird? He's simply the troll. The little troll that can. Come on, focus. Yep. The little troll that can, that could, that did. So, Christmas is almost here once more. I'm certainly not one of those people who's lived a Disney movie. You know, I'm well aware that there are dark things that can happen in life and dark moments that can seem as though they are simply the way life will be from now on. But I think in that way, Christmas is a really good reminder for me, and I think for other people as well, that life does move on, that things do change, and that you can choose to carry the good with you, and that the bad doesn't have to linger, it doesn't have to be on your shoulder for future Christmases and forever. So there you have it. Christmas is fast approaching, and today I simply had to share with you some photos I came across yesterday. Thank you as ever for watching, and until next time, do take care. Bye bye.